All right, welcome back. The program is still Channels Beam on Channels Television, and we're discussing President Buhari's trip to the White House and the talks between both that's President Buhari and President Trump of the United States. And, well, you were talking about the social factors. For instance, of course, I do not think it would have been possible for both presidents to meet and then not to mention the issue of insecurity. And we remember that President Trump did specifically say that they are not happy with the killings of Christians. He mentioned Christians. And President Buhari said, well, they were doing their best and all that. But do you think that with the jets, perhaps that is one of the factors of necessity, you know?
Well, we don't know what is going to play out in 2 years' time when the jets would have come in. But obviously, the government has to do something before that time, long before that time. And again, I think even the trip itself, it would appear that Nigeria needed this trip. The president needed this trip more than the United States needed the trip. You understand? I realize the fact that China is now playing in the backyard of the United States and the European countries. When it comes to China's investments in Africa, it has been going up. In about 2016, it was around $13 billion, while that of the United States was about a paltry $4 billion and so on. So there's also the issue of trying to compete with the Chinese and trying to arrest the incursion of China into Africa. All of these things have, also played out. And then the statements purportedly made by Bush about, Africa, calling, people, Nigerians, going back to their country, to their hut and all of that. And then the other statement he made also. So, and which other country is he going to, want to have a very good rapport with if it is not the biggest, populated country in Africa with the highest black population, Nigeria. And so it was also about smoothing nerves, of the Africans with regards to the Donald Trump presidency. Of course, we know that we have a lot of Africans in the United States. So there was also that aspect. But I think in terms of political terms, in terms of, symbolic, terms, and, I think it was more for Nigeria. Do not also forget, and I must make this point, that towards the tail end of his administration, it appeared that the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, had been abandoned by the international community, and so they also helped in playing a role in pushing him out and getting him to accept that he had lost that election as well. So I think the Nigerian government is also aware about, the importance of the international community in the conduct of affairs in this country. Or something, and you would say that they have done it overtly. Beyond even what they should be doing. But that is the reality that they have to face. So it's also good, I think, for the purpose of politics, for the president to want to ingratiate himself to, to the system there in the United States.
Okay, so let's go to Malaysia now and speak with Ben. Ben, well, Mr. Achike here is saying it's apart from this benefits, the economic benefits, the security, you also have the politicking, and placing Nigeria at the center of international politics. What's your take on that?
Yeah, unfortunately, the president did not address the international community that our election is fast approaching. And so he would have also showed the world that he's making a strong commitment to make sure that we have a free and fair and credible election in 2019. But having said that, if you look at the politics that is playing on both sides, there's a international dimension to it between China and America, and there's also the local politics that's playing between the opposition parties in Nigeria. Some are saying no. Some tweets. Some people have tweeted, "Oh, the only reason why Buhari went to the White House was because of the Super he paid for, and so that was the guarantee for him to come to the White House." And some are saying, "Well, that's not true. We're having a big issue in our hand, and this visit to the United States coming at the right time." And so, if you look at this whole thing, everybody with their own argument, and in as much as you see this argument, both arguments are somehow valid, and so you can't take one and leave one. But we have to manage. We have to manage the whole process. This is a very good one for us. It came at the right time. We're in dire need of help. We need this visit. This visit is so important to us. We are in dire need of help, and also, I think at this point in time, when Trump made some statement about how Nigerians is going to open their borders so that the American agricultural product will flow in, I think we need to do something also, because if we allow agricultural produce from United States to flow into Nigeria, it will kill a lot of our own local production will go down. So we won't let that happen. Right now that we are still struggling to, to help our local entrepreneurs.
Okay, Strip, do you think it had some political agenda or benefits to the country or to the president himself?
Yeah, no, this trip has a lot of benefit, both politically and otherwise. In terms of the stability of our nation, for the political stability of our nation, we need a peaceful environment. And so, if we don't have peace, we can't even play any kind of politicking. And so, in other words, we have to defeat this insurgents, which is one of the reasons why Buhari traveled to the US and also seek support. And already, the president, Donald Trump has also gave his own support that he's willing to make sure that the fight against terrorism is intensified and is also is being brought to an end. So I think it's a win-win situation for us. But what I don't also like, I was trying to say, if you look at the economic benefits also in terms of trade in the two countries, is we have to also look at when he said about the. When he said that we should open our borders so that the United States agricultural product can, come in. Okay. And so you have to also
look at that. All right, Ben. We really have to stop the discussion there. Thank you so much for joining in. From Ben to Victor to Atiku, we're really glad and we appreciate your contribution. And also, we have to say a very big thank you to Chide Achike for joining in from the studio. All right. Well, I guess that's a good place to stop this discussion. Thank you so much to our guest. Let's see the most viewed videos for the week, and we'll be back.
Well, the fifth most watched video of the week is a reaction to the meeting between President Buhari and President Trump at the White House. The video is of Mr. Ruben Abati criticizing President Buhari's speech at the meeting. I think somebody should tell President Buhari he should stop blaming outsiders. He's been elected president to deal with the issues, and he should deal with the issues. Gaddafi died about 6 years ago. So blaming Gaddafi for Nigerian problems misses the point. It beggars a question. The video of Senator Dino Melaye hospitalized after he allegedly jumped out of a police van on the way to Lokoja from the Federal Capital Territory also made it to the list.
You ask funny questions and I answer you.
Governor Ayo Fayose of Ekiti State made it to the list with a statement that those who were waiting for him after office will wait in vain. He said this on Channels Television Sunday Politics.
That those waiting for me will wait in vain. I am Peter, the rock. I'm telling you again, those waiting for me, they will wait in vain.
People who think for them, and once they do that, then you have a problem. You have to find a way.
The second most watched video for the week was from Channels Television Roadmap 2019. The program featured former head of state Ibrahim Babangida, where he talked about the annulment of the 1993 election, which also involved the late MKO Abiola. He also talked about the insecurity in the country. And the most watched video is the meeting between President Buhari and President Trump, where they discussed security, the purchase of 12 Tucano jets, and governance. And President Buhari told President Trump that herdsmen don't carry weapons.
The Nigerian herders never carried anything more than a stick and occasionally a machete to cut down foliage and give it to their animals. These ones are carrying AK-47. So I don't think people should underrate what happened in Libya.
So come 2020, Nigeria will receive 12 A-29 Tucano to aid in the fight against insecurity. But long before then, Nigeria is expected to have received $500 million from Nigeria's looted funds repatriated by the United States. These are a few of the benefits from the presidential visit. It's not too late for you to join the conversation through our social media platforms. We'd really like to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ini John Mekwa.